hanging by a thread, hung upon all the words you said, breaking free from this conformity that you force on me. Everything I do is one big show. It's about damn time that I take control. Put me under a microscope and And don't tell me that I need saving. Finally awake and living. Yeah, yeah. The pressure inside was building. I felt under attack. And now my mind's attacked. And I've chosen my path. I've chosen my path. Oh, what's this? I finally read this helplessness. Tired of feeling like I'm upside down. So I'm gonna turn it all around. And and dear God, save my soul, 'cause it is flawed. Tired of feeling like I'm upside down. So I'm gonna turn it all around. Upside down. Upside down. Gonna turn it all around. Upside down. Confession that you're my obsession. You're pulsing through me. The blood is rushing and I am.
Hello everybody, we are just getting everyone in order and we'll be getting started soon. Hello, my name is Dory K, and joining me from the ESG retirement bench is Yeti. Go ahead, introduce yourself now, Yeti.
I was the mid laner for ESG. I actually streamed the first game for this for today, and now I'm going to be doing the casting for the third and final game for today.
All right, it looks like they're just about ready, so we're going to be getting into Champ Select here soon, guys. Thanks for waiting. All right. So, have you done enough research on these teams to know what's going on with these?
Not too much. Not at all. Just to be completely honest, neither of the teams are ESG, so I don't see either of them coming out with a victory. So.
Well, ESG bias aside, sorry, we got the dual ESG lane. We are seeing Wah Ison, who did try out for quite a few teams as AD carry. They're saying your mic's a little messed up in the stream if you want to see why you sound robotic. But Wah, ADC for Lobster Gang, kind of solidified his place. He tried out for quite a few teams, but he actually started popping off. He did really well in their last game. It's looking good to me. AE, though, known for keeping their names all matching. Got the AE at the beginning, except their sub, Geo Sucks. Geo Sucks Huge Schlong. Yep, I thought it was some kind of weird pronunciation. It's really just Geo Sucks Huge Schlong.
I feel bad for Geo.
Sucks to be Geo. But yeah, Lobster Gang using an E-sub. SSJG Goku, recent addition to Duo Esports, trying to pick up a starting spot on a team. But they need a E-sub, so let's see if he can prove himself here. You see in the Zed ban directed at Goku. Somebody on AE must know something we don't know. Then the Alistar ban, I know gamers played it before. I know it's a really powerful pick right now. And the Rise ban, what do you think about that from the mid lane, Devin?
To be completely honest, I haven't seen too many Rise. Just like I'm just from playing mid lane over the past couple of weeks with this new patch that just came in. I haven't seen too many Rise. I'm not 100% sure why they banned it. It must be it's got to be a targeted ban because there's no other reason. It's not like it's an OP pick or anything. So it's got to be directed at Geo.
And there's the Kog'Maw ban. Phantom did have a good showing yesterday. He could have DPS'd a little harder. I would have been a little bit more afraid of him then, but he got fed. He only died once right at the end of the game. So it's a real scary pick to take off of him. And then Kaisa, of course, if Phantom doesn't play it, if Geo's not going to play it, definitely ban it, especially if Wa plays it. It does sound like your mic's doing a lot better. So, we're seeing the Warwick first pick coming out for a Sobriquet, formerly known as Not a Real Doctor. It has been kind of a one-trick pick for him this season so far since switching to jungle from support. So definitely his best performing jungle. So let's see how that goes for him. What do you think of Warwick in a competitive setting?
Honestly, Warwick in a competitive setting, I feel like especially after they changed the I don't want to say they nerfed him because it was just a bug fix, but a while ago, for the majority of the season, there was a huge bug with Warwick where his Q would deal double damage and heal double. So it would essentially hit you twice with one hit. So I think that's why he was so strong in the beginning of the season. I think he's still a fine pick, especially into. Obviously he didn't pick into anybody, but with a champion like Yasuo on the other team, who if you have more CC, you essentially can end up winning that game pretty easily. At least shutting him down. I think it's a good pick. He can get tanky, he can deal some damage, and he's really good in this early skirmish fight over the crab meta that's going on. And he's also very good at ganking early. So if you play one of those weird, I don't want to call them off meta bot lanes because it's turning into the meta, but one of those weird comboed bot lanes you can get all of them.
We did see the Rammus lock-in. We saw the Zac hover originally, which I thought would go good with the Yasuo, but I think the Rammus wants to be able to give grievous wounds, especially given they must have known they must have known Ardo was going to go for something that sustains. So definitely the Rammus W plus Thornmail will be pretty good here. Yasuo benefits from the knockups, but his taunt lines up a Q, so it's not bad, especially when coupled with Lulu ult here. Yasuo jumps into a team fight, Lulu ults him, he gets a free ult, and there he goes. Lulu just also brings a lot of lane pressure. But it looks like a pretty standard draft. So far, we don't have any hints that there's anything weird going on in the bot lane or mid lane right now. Junglers are pretty standard junglers. Fizz is really annoying. Good solo queue champion. Occasionally shows up in competitive as a pocket pick. But it looks like Geo is still hovering Smite at the moment, so I want to see what goes on there. Caitlyn ban taken away from Phantom. Real strong laning champion. Probably trying to get Wa and Gamer a good lane matchup. And since they don't get first pick in the second round, there's the risk of losing Caitlyn there. Aurelia ban might be targeted towards Train Game. They might think he plays it, although I'm not sure where Yasuo's going. He can go into 3 lanes now.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Well, so can Aurelia because they essentially play the same style. It's that's why this meta is really weird. And I don't like it. It's hard to tell where people are going.
You don't
the Lucian ban. Okay, so now I guess all right.
it's targeted, so they really don't think Renekton's gonna go bot lane.
No problem.
But very high prioritization on the bot lane picks here. Wa gets the first pick here. Vayne is not very strong right now, in my opinion. Varus has his setup. Looks like this comp really wants to play around Yasuo anyways. Varus can start to pop off with an item or two. He still goes the Ginsu's Rage Blade like Kaisa does. It's just not as good on him. And the Vayne getting locked in.
Okay, that's interesting. The Vayne getting locked in is probably a good response to the Warwick as well as the Renekton, because they're both going to stack at least a little bit of HP. And obviously the percentage damage with her Bork and with her W are both going to help a lot.
Oh, and it's looking like just a Sivir comp. Aether just wants to go ham. It's what they've been doing best. They coordinate their team fights really well when they can get them, when they don't fall behind early in the laning phase. Aether does have relatively good team fighting strength, and I really think that's what won them the game against Enigmatic last week. Now, the Vayne pick, I still am curious about. She is by far one of the weaker ADCs in the game right now. We did have some users in our chat today actually asking about Ginsu's on Vayne as opposed to going for the crit. But again, Ginsu's Vayne in general, just late game scaling. You get the Lulu trying to get the lane strength, but I hope they have something in mind that can work out for him, because right now Lulu helps against Rakan and Sivir, but it's not going to be wonderful, and Sivir's going to have push priority on Vayne, so Rammus is going to have to be careful if he doesn't want to get invaded here.
Absolutely, and you would know the jungle matchup better than I would. I have played a good amount of Warwick, but I mean the matchup against Rammus, who wins that early with the duel? Is it Warwick because of the damage or Rammus because of the tank?
Absolutely, me Warwick, me farm fast, me sustain. Rammus W helps him out a little bit, but ultimately he's going to lose a trade against Warwick. He's not going to have scuttle priority. He's not going to have a faster clear speed. It's just a really rough matchup for Rammus, in my opinion. But again, Rammus does have his benefit late game. It does look like Lobster Gang wants to go for a little bit more late game team fighting, a little bit of pressure with Gragas, a little bit of pressure with Lulu early, and Yasuo doesn't need too much necessarily, but honestly, Yasuo is just a strong pick right now. He's really tough to play, but we've seen quite a few really good Yasuos in our league, and we haven't seen anything from Goku, so it's his time to shine.
The one thing that I'm looking at as far as AE is considered is the Fizz. I think that instead of going for Ignite, he should have gone for Exhaust against the Yasuo. That would have just been a personal preference of mine, just because Yasuo can be annoying, and as Fizz, you don't really need especially going into mid and late game, you don't need it because you don't need Ignite because you deal so much damage in a burst. So you can drop out. You could just drop anybody almost.
Yeah. Fizz does have the damage over time, which is nice. There is a good amount of health stacking, so I can see the use of Vayne later. But I'm not too sure about it. What do you think the bot lane matchup's going to look like early?
Honestly, I mean it's really weird because this is a lane where both of the AD carries kind of want to play passive anyways. So it's really going to be dictated a lot by the supports. If I had to take a guess, I'd say probably Lulu, just based off of how the kits work against each other. Lulu's probably going to be able to push them in a little bit more.
Yeah, they are both going exhaust, so it definitely seems like neither of them want to go for fights. They know mid lane, both taking Ignite. They're both solo queue champs. They're both going to try to go bot lane really fast, try to get push priority and move. They're going to try to kill each other. It's a really volatile mid lane, in my opinion. Top lane, Renekton has a lot of strength. Gragas, if he goes tank, goes sustain, can sustain through lane pretty well, so he's going to be able to match Renekton there, but I don't know as though he'll have push priority in that lane.
Yeah, well, I know for a very long time, this was had to have been a season or two ago. Gragas was the AP Renekton for a while. He was a huge bully, and it was almost exactly identical because of the sustain between Gragas' passive and Renekton's Q, as well as the damage and the CC that they allowed. And I remember it. So it could go either way. I know Renekton is very strong right now, especially with Conqueror. And I don't know how Gragas does. I haven't seen enough of him in order to make an educated call.
The jungle changes that happened to him primarily were he lost a good amount of the sustain in his passive, but he gained AP ratios back when they realized he was too weak. When they changed his E buffering, and they made him a little bit weaker in the jungle, he disappeared for a while. I think he's honestly just like he seems like a pocket pick now because you just don't see him very often anymore. He's not like a standard pick, but honestly, it's sustain versus sustain with the Renekton, the Gragas, Warwick, and even a Vayne here. But we are heading into Champ Select now, or loading screen now. So let's take a quick look at their summoners, or not summoners, I guess summoners, but they're keystones. Keystones are what we care about here. And remember, guys, we are in cross-conference, so there are bragging rights due. Baron versus Elder Drake conference. Standings, they aren't going to be playing against the people that matter for playoffs, but every win matters. So, looking across the board, looks like Warwick's got Press the Attack, Renekton has Grasp, Gragas has Aftershock. Everything looks pretty standard. Vayne has the lethal tempo, though. She's looking to attack fast. Don't know if it's going to help her lane, but I mean, it's real good for late game if she can just get free auto attacks off on the back line. She does have Rammus, Gragas, and Lulu to help peel. And Yasuo is going to be disrupting their back line. So Vayne might have free reign over team fights here. Any thoughts on the summoners and keystones at all here?
I mean, as far as the couple that I'm seeing, I know Warwick is very strong with Press the Attack, but he's also very, very strong with Conqueror as well. So I'm a little, I was curious to see which one he was going to take. I'm also surprised that Renekton didn't take Conqueror, but in that matchup where the sustain is kind of what you're kind of going for to try and out sustain the other, going Grasp is totally fine and it makes a lot of sense. The other one that kind of confuses me a little bit is the Rakan. To my knowledge, I thought Rakan was supposed to take Aftershock for the engages, for the team fights.
Yeah, I've been seeing
but if we're going to be playing passive, I don't see Ari being a problem.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot more sorcery tree from Rakan lately since the AP ratio buffs. It was kind of a big deal for him, but he still can benefit from Aftershock. I think a lot of players are starting to take Airy on him more often, but again, I'm not huge into support anymore, and I haven't been playing Rakan as much as I'd like to. He's a really good champion. I think he's gonna float through most metas and be useful. He's just like the super versatile champion.
Yeah, I honestly think that the way that he is in the current game, like the way that the game is currently, he's like a new version of Thresh. Obviously not with the hook and the abilities and the character himself, but the way that he's versatile, can be offensive, be defensive, be in between, and can be just an overall playmaker. I think that they are very, very similar.
Yeah, that's a good sentiment. I would agree with that one. He's got a really creative kit. He doesn't even need Xayah anymore from the looks of it. But let's see what happens to these level 1s here. Looks like Blue is frantic pinging through mid lane. Looks like they might invade mid lane into bot river. Try to catch somebody with their pants down here.
If that Vayne's not careful, they could end up catching that Vayne.
Let's see what happens. Knight might be able to start W here, get a free catch off Wa.
They won't be able to see him until they get to about where the tree is on the corner of that rock. If she stays in the bush.
Oh, the
and got a free flash out of the Vayne.
They are going to keep going. They know that there's a 5-point setup here. They know Vayne's flash is down. Rammus and Luz starting to walk down a little bit. Vayne trying to back, even though she took no damage here. She might just reset, walk straight back down the lane. But clear walkthrough, little ward down. AE's going to see if Rammus decides to start the blue. That's a vision and summoner advantage for Lobster Gang.
That was a really interesting back from the Vayne. Just because it's going to make her make her like a second and a half, like a little, like maybe, or maybe not actually. I was gonna say it might make her a second late for the leash, but it doesn't look like it's gonna make much of a difference.
And start the lane, standard matchup. Yasuo is able to push pretty well. Level 1 with his Q, Fizz, mostly just gonna be autoing stuff. Train Game decided to start the Q this game. Do you have any preferences over starting ability for top lane when it comes to Gragas? I know he's not a super common pick.
I mean, when I did play ago as like my secondary. Playing as Gragas, it really mostly depends on the matchup.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. We got a W already. Gamer taking a ton of damage. Knight getting a nice little pick to start off the lane there.
That was a very, very good trade on the part. I caught the Lulu by surprise. I'm not 100% sure why the Lulu thought that he wouldn't be in the bush.
Oh, and we got a little bit of a trade going in here. Sober K trying to chase down the Rammus, but he is a little bit slowed there. Takes the slow and the ticking damage from red buff. And the W misses from AE Knight. They do have a level disadvantage. Knight hasn't hit level 2, and he just hits it. So lane matchups not really having anything crazy going on yet. Warwick going to pick up that first Scuttle Crab. Gramus already headed back up to his red. And Renekton going in for the trade. He gets the level 3 advantage. Going for that first blood. Gets the flash. Takes a tower shot. I feel like that's not wonderful for Gragas. And missing the W again from Knight. He's trying real hard. That range versus melee matchup is pretty tough to play. Oh, Gragas getting the hit. Arda taking
Renekton. That was very... Alright, well we had two back-to-back deaths. That was really strange dive on the Renekton's part. I don't know if he thought he had more damage or what he was doing there. That was really weird.
Might have been possible he was thinking he had enough damage to get the combo off before Gragas could E forward, but ultimately, yeah. But Fizz getting the kill off of having a bigger lane from what it looks like. What do you think happened there?
We didn't really catch it on my I didn't catch it right until he died. It looked like he had the Ignite though. Yasuo hadn't used his. So it looks like it must have been a mismatch of Yasuo might have used the spell on the wave instead of on Fizz, and then after Fizz hit one ability, he went all in with the Ignite.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Renekton is keeping lane priority here, despite giving up first blood. We haven't seen too much action from the junglers since that level 2 at Scuttle. And down goes the W. Renekton just getting a little bit of damage, manages to get out of Gragas Q. He forgets to reactivate it. Oh, we all hate when that happens. But Wa realizes the Phantom is low on mana, taking the trade. Rammus coming in. Knight decides to go and get the W. Still takes the taunt, still takes the condemn, and down goes another kill for Lobster Gang. Oh, but
Vayne? Oh, that's rough.
Taking 2 tower shots, that's unlucky. Poor guys. Fizz is taking the trade, gets his taking damage from his W, manages to dive away with the playful trickster. Yasuo Fizz still trading.
So that bot lane gank was really strange. They shouldn't have been able to get away with that because the Lobster Gang's bot lane just kind of walked at them, signifying that there's a gank coming. That you just walk straight away. Don't even worry about trying to hit spells or kite at all or anything. You just walk away from it.
Yeah. I see what Aether wanted to do. They did have the wave priority. I guess they could have been trying to go for. They could have been trying to get the outplay. Maybe they didn't think Rammus was going to be strong enough to help. But we'll see. Fizz does miss the ultimate. That is a nice win wall. Yasuo trying to get up to level 6, trying his best to get those minions so he can get the kill. But Fizz just walking up, takes the Playful Trickster, flashes in, gets the Ignite, still dies to the Rammus, and that's a 1-for-1. However, Yasuo did manage to get that kill.
The last tick of Ignite killed him before the hit before the turret shot hit.
That's what it looks like. But yeah, the Vayne is proving to be relatively useful. He's keeping up the farm right now. Bot lane's pretty much tied out right now. Sobriquet still has yet to get on the board. So has Renekton, although he did die once to that kill. However, I do think the 20 CS lead is going to try to balance that out there. But it does look like Aether's starting to walk down towards Drake. There is no vision on it for the red team or Lobster Gang, so this might end up actually going to Aether for free. Renekton, Gragas are both level 6. Neither of them have TP right now. Rammus is topside. He has no idea this is going on right now. And that's a free Infernal Drake for Aether. Rammus is deciding to come in for a gank, holds the Q, sits around for a little bit, not sure if it's warded, might just go to Scuttle, see if that's up. Sobriquet though does realize Rammus is top, decides to invade the jungle, take out the blue, and hop his way out of there. The mid and bot lane from Lobster Gang did decide to try to collapse on that, where Sobriquet managed to get out no problem. He's level 4 at the moment, Rammus as well. Our solo lanes are both 6. We haven't seen huge power spikes from the bot lane quite yet. Again, Vayne and Sivir are going to be farming pretty hard, trying to farm up here. What do you think Aether has to do here? Oh! Fizz getting the full combo down, takes down the Yasuo relatively easily. That electrocute damage is huge. Yasuo did manage to get the Conqueror, but couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about, where he doesn't necessarily need to have Ignite because of the damage that comes out between his W and the electrocute. It's devastating when you play against somebody who knows how to combo correctly. Fizz is one of the most annoying champions to have to deal with as a mid laner.
Yeah, definitely. Good sentiment there.
Okay.
Yeah, so game is kind of at a standstill now. Fizz kind of tried to walk down, go for a gank, but it doesn't look like it's a very good position to get the gank off.
Yeah, the Yasuo is definitely gonna, unless they're planning on completely stalling the game out. They do have a mid laner and an AD carry that are very, very strong late game once they have a couple of items. But he's having a lot of trouble playing the one, so he's gonna need to get some help. He's also losing in front. It's only 9, but 9 can be pretty huge when you're also down 3 kills.
Oh, great. Sobriquet does manage to get the taunt off to run away, but Gragas is trying to get the kill here. Train Game not letting him get near my red. This is my red, he says. Goku, however, leveled down, does take the W from Fizz, is getting that ticking damage down. Knight misses the W out, but we do have that fight in the top lane going down. Bot lane as well. Let's try to track both these fights at once. Rammus is going to go down to the Aether team. Oh! And Wa manages to get a kill. Oh no, that went to Lulu.
Renekton's TPing in bot lane right now. Let's see if they can get away. He should have canceled that TP. Because there's no way they're going to catch a Lulu. Not a bad fight though, bottom. Managed to get some gold towards the Lulu and the Vayne to try to get them ahead. It looks like it's a relatively balanced lane though, even still after that fight.
And I do see that the gold advantage is 1,000 in favor of Aether. What would you attribute that to?
Honestly, I'm gonna say mostly the fact that he's got that 4-kill lead, or I guess 3-kill lead in the mid lane. You know, after a couple kills, even still, it adds up every single time. So regardless of how much the amount is, that's probably got to be the majority of it. I'd say at least 800 gold worth.
And Aether's definitely getting off to a good start here. They do have a 1,700 gold lead, which is pretty good for them so far. Let's see what they can do with this advantage. What would you expect to see them do at this point now the map's opened up a little?
What they could probably end up doing, send Renekton, do the top and bot lane swap, and see if they can get Gragas pushed in. Having the engage from Rakan and the damage from Sivir and the tower taking ability, they should be able to take that tower relatively quickly, and then also have Renekton come up for the dragon, which I believe is going to spawn. In about 1 minute and 30 seconds. So they could send their bot lane. They could have sent their bot lane up there, taken the turret, and then walk down towards that dragon.
Oh, it does look like we got some good action going on. Fizz with the double buffs does land the ult on Lulu. Almost manages to one-shot her, but the ultimate comes down. Yasuo, last breath goes down. Arda and Knight running away. Re-engaging. Sobercase still healthy. Yasuo lands the Q, but doesn't have his ult anymore. Rammus about to go down and taking damage. Fizz jumping in, loses his Playful Trickster, but manages to get out, loses the Yasuo Ignite, and it's just down to Yasuo and main here. That is a 2-for-0 in the favor of AE. Train Game managed to TP out, managed to almost get W'd by the Renekton. Gets the E-Flash, trying his best, misses the ultimate. And Aether's just going to walk away, licking their wounds, managed to take that fight, managed to win. Now the gold leads up to almost 3,000 here. And they get a turret out of it.
Okay, so they did end up actually managing to take that top turret. I think, again, another questionable TP from the Gragas. No reason to TP there. If they're going to get dove, they can just back up off the turret pretty easily. Fizz didn't have ultimate, Warwick didn't have ultimate, and I don't think Sivir had ultimate either, so there was no threat of them chasing them through the turret.
Down goes the Rift Herald. They did pick that up while we were discussing the lane swap. Ram is trying to go in, trying to zone out the Rift Herald. Can't really do much about it. Looks like that mid lane's going to go down. That's going to be 3-0 on turrets here. And that's a 4,000 gold lead for Aether in 12 minutes.
Yeah, they definitely have a huge advantage, not only in items but also, all over the place. It's really hard to say. Like obviously, Fizz is one of those champions that as a mid laner. Oh, hold on, there's a fight gonna start right here.
And in it goes. Knight gets the knockup. Renekton flashing in, getting the W. Yasuo still has no Q. Akiko's gonna go down. Rammus is dead. Fizz walking up. No ultimate down on Gragas. Gragas about to fall down. Knight's gonna take that one away. Say thank you very much. Support wants it. And it looks like they're just gonna turn on the dragon here. Try to clear out some vision. Head for the Cloud Drake. Get that dank movement speed.
Yeah, so back to what I was saying, I think that the only way that Lobster manages to pull this game off, they have to stun the bleeding and they have to completely focus on stopping the Fizz. It's kind of weird. They have to let one of the two tanks sit in the front line, and then as soon as they see the fish come out, there needs to be a wind wall to stop it. And then because the wind wall doesn't completely get rid of it like it does with most spells, it just stops it in its place. So it's gotta, once it hits, you gotta back away from it and then like disengage the fight. You could also use the Gragas ultimate. I think that you need to use it defensively instead of offensively now because they are very behind at this point.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think the composition's win condition is here for Lobster? Because they are looking like they're
for which team?
Lobster Gang, red team.
Okay, so for Lobster, their win condition has got to be getting Yasuo to 100% crit and allowing him to basically split push. I think that instead of having Vayne bot side right now, or Gragas top, he needs to be sitting in one of the side lanes collecting as much farm as possible, because that's the only way he's going to get those items. He's not able to really fight anybody yet, but once he gets an IE and his and whatever his Zeal item is going to be, he'll be able to fight just about anybody. Obviously, if he's competent on Yasuo, that is. Really, it's just about them scaling. They have to wait until the game enough to the point where Vayne is able to fight it, where they're able to have their duelist fight and have their frontline tank. They have to delay the game.
It does look like all these melee champions are going to start heading the turret. But Renekton looking for the flank. Sobercase jumping in. Still no ult from Yasuo. Fizz blocked by the wind wall. Rakan going really deep. He's got 4 Lobster Gang members on him. He might actually go down here. Nope, just jumps to the Fizz, gets out. It is 5v4 here, and now 5v5. The Vayne has joined us. Aether is looking pretty low, though. Let's see if Lobster Gang wants to go for a re-engage here. They are 6,000 gold down. They are down 1 item. The Gragas versus the Renekton still hasn't finished whatever he's building that Catalyst into here.
In that last fight, Yasuo, they managed to do exactly what I said about how they should play the team fights out. They allowed the Gragas and the Rammus to stay in front, and then as soon as the Fizz the Fizz ultimate came out, the fish, he was able to wind wall and stop it. It was a huge ultimate, so all they had to do was back away, which they managed to do. That's how none of them died. Because as soon as that hits somebody, Fizz is able to deal a ton of damage to everybody in their path.
And Arda is getting fought here. But Soberk is coming in, has a W active, lands the ultimate, gets the suppression. Looks like Renekton's gonna get slowed though. And he's gonna hand that kill over to Renekton. So that is priority in the top lane, 7,000 gold lead now. Going for the E-dash in, slice and dice, going for the Q, gets the W, and Warwick comes in, just sweeps up the kill. It looks like it might be a top lane going down here. If Yasuo and Rammus can't do anything about it, but Rammus Q can get a knock-up here. Renekton manages to get the W, get the full combo. Rammus is holding his ult right now, trying to do that DPS, has the red buff. He's going to heal up, try to re-engage. Yasuo does have his ultimate up. Aether's pushed in as well. Both side lanes going down, but the teleport coming in from Train Game to defend mid lane. The Aether just going to take down another kill. Yasuo trying to defend himself, manages to get the proc from Hex Drinker.
While we had that action going up top, they also had Sivir and Rakan bot lane, where they were able to take that turret, force Vayne off of it.
Yeah, definitely. It's, again, slow bleeding, just like you said. Now, comparing items, what do you think the team fighting power or the split pushing power is for these champions? Gragas getting the ultimate down, trying to clear out the wave. It is getting really low. Manages to insta-give Lulu though. He is so strong right now.
Okay, so that's really good. So that was good. Getting the Yasuo the kills. If he can get a couple more here, that's
oh, that's a two-man last breath. Sivir's getting caught out. Wah gets the fight.
There we go.
And Lobster Gang managed to pull out a win. You do still have 2 minutes on Baron. If they were a couple minutes later, they could have gotten that, but it was a good fight. They are still trying to fight back. They're keeping the gold lead below 8,000 as best they can.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did notice that the Vayne first bought Ginsu's Rageblade. I don't know. I don't play Vayne. I don't know how good that is of an item on her. I think that it probably would have been better to go with something like Bork to be able to keep the Renekton, like to slow the Renekton off of you, as well as to deal a little bit more percentage base to him and Warwick, because Warwick is at this point just stacking HP and armor. So I think it would have been a better purchase. I guess as long as she goes forward at some point, I think they'll be fine. The Rageblade's just a little confusing to me.
Yep. As Shuno's saying in chat, this is turning out to be really weird. There's some awkward exchanges of rank between the groups here. This is the last place team, Aether, in the Baron division versus Lobster Gang, who's actually sitting in third. This would be a huge win for Aether, especially since they're looking for their second. Got their first one off of EG, who's currently sitting tied for second with Naughty Nips in the Baron division.
All right, and those couple kills and assists that Yasuo managed skirmish in that top right-hand quadrant, the red buff quadrant, it actually allowed him to be able to get that the Phantom Dancer. So he should be able to split push and fight almost. I would say just about any
team fight breaking out. And it looks like down goes the blue side. Goku managing getting an ult off of the Sivir. And it looks like Lobster Gang's going to try to peel out Aether. And that's a triple kill for the Yasuo. Lobster that's
huge. That's incredible. That's a huge swing.
Now, where can we expect them to go with this? They got some kills. They're catching up. They're working on it. It's still less than 8,000. That's what I was saying before. Do you expect them to go for this Baron here?
Honestly, what they should have done, as soon as they won that fight top lane, they should have ran right there. I know that some of them were low, but Yasuo's wind wall can block the auto attacks from Baron to keep them alive a little bit longer. And having Rammus and Gragas there, they should be able to, and the Lulu as well, be able to trade aggro as well as shield and heal each other, or not each other, but themselves to do the Baron. Not a huge mistake, but I think that they definitely could have gotten away.
And that is an underfed Lulu, building the recently buffed Chalice of Harmony. finishes up the Athene's Holy Grail. But it looks like they're actually setting up for the Drake, trying to zone Sobriquet off of the Scuttle Crab. But Knight just going to clear out vision in the Baron pit, make sure they don't sneak that guy there. And business as usual. Sobriquet, Aether managed to get Scuttle control over the Dragon pit. They do still have an 8k gold lead, so don't 7k gold lead, sorry. So don't sleep on them yet, but it does look like Lobster Gang is trying their best to get these fights. They're trying to get Vayne online. Looks like she's going for some Zeal item. She's got the Brawler's Club right now. Aether just going to get this Drake for free.
I don't mind them giving this Drake over for free. It's definitely not something worth fighting for, especially when you're not in position to be able to contest it. Both top and mid were both pushing in, so if you lose at least one of those inhibs. So I think that's a good call on them to just give up that dragon.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So, when you look at the gold distribution, it's looking like a lot of the gold advantage is on those solo lanes. There's a little bit of gold advantage in bot lane, but a majority of it is the Renekton with the nearly 100 farm lead. It is the Fizz who's going 7-1 right now. But Yasuo has been pulling out a few kills. What do you think?
I mean, like I said earlier, if they're able to go to start, it looks like he's already building into with that initial or with that first BF sword.
Oh, that knockup from Gragas, that ultimate into the Yasuo last breath. Oh my god, down goes the Gragas. Fizz ultimate doesn't really get much. Lulu will manage to land on him. The Yasuo Ignite is on Fizz. They're going to try to chase him down. Gets the flash, gets the Q, gets the kill. Arda manages to shred through Vayne though. Knight going down. It's a big advantage for Lobster Gang. They fought with Phantom playing split push hero, doing his best Reckless impression here. That's huge. Lobster wins the fight, but Aether manages to win out on the macro with lane priority. Sivir popped the ultimate, walking away. They don't finish the inhib. Now they finish the inhib. Phantom flashes out. Arda running away as fast as he can. Yasuo Q lands. Gragas gets the slow. Yasuo has a wave to dash through. It looks like Arda's going to go down here. Goku is legendary, really turning his game around after losing 3 solo kills. Hasn't died a single time since. Yep,
well, and he was able to get 2 items. Spike. I know that sounds real weird to say, but with the Infinity Edge and the Phantom Dancer, he's at 100% crit now. So every time he autos, he's doing a assload of damage. So they got to be very careful trying to fight this. Gragas.
Well, looks like things might get explosive around the Baron pit, but Polymorph, OP point and click CC, the do nothing button. So quick little trade out of Fizz. He does lose a lot of HP from the Gragas, manages to get the body slam off. But Lobster Gang looking rough. They have 0 turrets, 0 dragons. They are still down 6,500 gold right now. So it is still close, but their team fighting's been great. So all they have to do is convert one of these good team fights into a kill. Gragas misses the body slam, walks himself out, waits on that cooldown, see if we can get it again. Fizz messes up the Playful's Trickster, takes the Gragas ultimate. Yasuo last breath manages to take down Fizz.
Lulu is dealing for that Vayne very, very well. If they can set up, I think this is an easy game for them.
That is a 4-4-0. Lobster Gang says, no, we will not give up. We will eventually get an objective.
Yep.
Going straight for this Baron. Nobody really to contest it here.
I think what they should have done is Yasuo should have acted immediately to stop that wave, and then they should have should have ran the Baron.
That is a Dragon game to go handle the top wave. And the Baron Nash are going to keep their turret up. They're trying to defend, trying to waste out that time. But that's a Baron. Lobster Gang delays this game. It's down to a 2,500 gold lead. And where are we at now? What happens here?
I think what's happening is I think that the Fizz is trying to he thinks that he's stronger than he is. he's trying to hop in and assassinate somebody, and he's not really getting the chance to. The top laner, the Gragas and the Lulu are doing a very, very good job at peeling everything off of whoever gets hit with the ultimate, or whoever Renekton tries to jump onto. Just happened that last fight in the mid lane with Vayne. Lulu kept Vayne alive by using the ultimate on herself, but it CC'd the Renekton enough so that she could get away from him and kind of self-heal as well with her Condemn.
What do you think Aether has to do to get the momentum back in their favor here?
I think what they should look to try is, because Fizz has his Lich Bane finished. He needs to sit in one of the side lanes. Lobster needs to be very, very careful though. They have like a double wave of supers pushing it on their bot side.
Arda going for the slice and dice, but Vayne dealing with the wave bot. Just trying her best to single target auto attack all those super minions. Gonna try to defend while their team uses Baron to kind of stall out the game. This Baron looks like it might be a stalling tactic at this point. Try to minimize the gold lead, make up for any losses they had earlier. We do see the Gragas finally getting items. He's got that Sunfire Cape. All he's gonna do is jump in with his Roa, jump in with his health, his Sunfire Cape, just try to soak up as much damage as he can, disrupt a team fight, which is really all they've been doing to win so far. These team fights have been on top of big ultimates from Gragas, big ultimates from Yasuo, and just a ton of peel for this Vayne, who's finally got her Phantom Dancer completed. So on top of the peel, she also has the damage reduction and the movement speed from Phantom Dancer. Yasuo checking the bush, Fizz going for the assassination, Q's through, Yasuo throws up the wind wall, dodges around, goes down. Aether does manage to get the kill, and down goes Wah, manages to take the Fizz ultimate. Phantom gonna try to run Train Game down, but he's just gonna flash over. Ooh, Sobriquet overextends a little bit, misses the ultimate, but he manages to walk away. Fizz doing a ton of damage. Lulu goes down, saves the Gragas.
They need to stop chasing.
It looks like a TP is going down in the top lane.
Yep, Renekton was able to help them get that one turret. He needs to walk away, walk towards his team. Yep, and they need to just let the minions walk in.
But Phantom managed to get the spell shield off. Isn't really much to Rammus though. Managed to just stand around, do a ton of damage just by existing. Train Game and Rammus just trying their best to keep the game alive. Gamers standing in the back, slowing, polymorphing, autoing, queuing, just doing everything he can. But this Renekton just doesn't want to go down. He's a big boy. And that's their base defended for, I mean, all intents and purposes. The inhibitor's back up. And Lobster Gang is still holding on. The gold lead is only 1,500, despite no dragons, and they do have a kill advantage now, despite losing that fight.
Yep. No, they absolutely were able to complete that comeback. Like I said, as soon as Vayne and Yasuo hit those item power spikes where they are able to deal a bunch of damage and potentially be able to split push, I think that's exactly what they needed. In order for Aether to get back into this, I think what they have to do is they have to sit Fizz in a side lane. Force Yasuo or Vayne or somebody, like either somebody with CC or somebody with damage that can 1v1 him and fight him straight up into that lane to keep them away from the team fight, and just put them and just split the team up between top and bot lane, and just let it go. I know normally you'd think, oh, Renekton has the TP, put him in the split push, but I think that Fizz is the strongest member of the team, so putting him by himself, it forces a 3v4 in one of the other lanes, or I'm sorry, a 4v5 in one of the other lanes, or a 4v4. And it's kind of hard to say who wins that 4v4. It depends on who gets sent at Fizz.
And do you think the Sivir's almost at the point where she can fight? She is sitting on 2 BF swords, hasn't finished that Infinity Edge yet. Can they survive a fight without Fizz?
I think that once she gets the Infinity Edge is when that should start happening. The other thing that Fizz should do, I'm noticing, going into fights like head up with the team so they can see him throw the ultimate. He needs to throw it from the Shadow of War where they can't see. He needs to come in like a true assassin where they don't see it coming and he's not on the map.
that may be exactly what they go for. They've got Fizz in the top lane, trying to rotate, get Vision out of the top side jungle, see if Aether can get another pick, try to get another fight like that last one they just won. Vayne walking up to Arda, gonna get a couple auto attacks down, manages to miss the condemn. Rammus activating the Q, he's running in, trying to get a hold of him. Doesn't touch the Renekton, kind of rocking back and forth. Akiko doing his best, trying to clear that wave, managed to get the taunt on the Warwick. But Knight doing his very best to kind of peel out the fight. Gamer manages to ult himself, knocks up the Renekton. Train Game still alive, survives the Fizz ultimate. And Wa managed to get the kill on Arda. And Akiko managed to kill Knight. And this is a one fight for Lobster Gang. Because Fizz is going down. He doesn't have enough damage to kill Vayne.
Lobster Gang actually has a gold lead now. About a 600 gold lead on in favor of Lobster.
And it is a Baron up in 40 seconds. Let's see if they can do something with it. They've got the gold advantage now. They've got the momentum. They managed to bring it back from a nearly 1,000 gold lead at one point this game.
Alrighty, and I do want to apologize. I do have to step out. I had
thank you for joining us today, Yeti. I will be finishing up the game, do my best here. But we do have Lobster Gang running it down, trying their best to get the turret. They want to bring this game back. They're going for the inhibitor, but both teams are up in 1 second. This is about to be up. They're trying to get the inhibitor, but Knight misses the W. Rammus gets the knockup. No taunt here. Walking as fast as he can. Wait for his Q to come up. Gets the exhaust thrown down. Gets the W from Rakan. It looks like Rammus is going to go down here. That is Baron priority for Aether, trying to do his best, but he still won't die. This Rammus finally goes down to the Sivir. Knight going for the ultimate, trying his best to get that down, and that's 2 kills for 0 in the favor of Aether. They're going to go for this Baron, try to get that inhibitor back down. This game is so back and forth. These cross-conference games are so exciting. But that is a Baron, 6,000 more HP. Goku walking up has his Guardian Angel, but Knight dashing over, landing the Q, getting a little bit of healing. And that's a Baron on the side of Aether. We do have Lulu coming back up in 15 seconds. Rammus up in 10. And Aether at this point really just have to siege. Sivir, really strong, sitting on her IE now. Has her item spikes, has her Phantom Dancer, is going to survive a fight here. It's really about whose ADC can DPS better in these fights and which assassin manages to get on top of the other. Because Yasuo with his AoE, pretty tough to deal with. But after he gets that, he's a sitting duck. He's just going to take damage from Sivir on the back line unless he gets a really well-placed wind wall here. Sitting on the GA though, still hasn't let it pop. That is going to be 2 rounds of Yasuo in a team fight, on top of having Lulu ult, on top of having Gragas ult. So one pick could just mean the game here, because Aether is not doing too much with the Baron. Lobster trying to get a push down mid to kind of balance it out and counteract their Baron. Because there is an exposed inhibitor mid, there is an exposed inhibitor bot for Lobster, and 1 mid for Aether here. It does look like Lobster's starting to rotate towards Sivir and Fizz. They're going to back off since they're alone. They know they don't have their team with them. They're heading up mid. It is good vision control around the mid lane, around the entrances, so they might look for a flanking fight through mid lane when this Baron starts to wear out. But Arda just going to shove this wave with Sobriquet. Just get it moving, get that Baron on, and they look like they're going to try to siege here. At this point, it looks like Lobster's got vision in the jungle. Knight's trying to match it out. Arda as well. Goes for the W over the wall, doesn't manage to get a hold of Gamer, but zone him out, managed to take out the ping. Yasuo and Vayne trying their best to get rid of the cannon minion here, the Baron up cannon minion. We do have a 30 seconds on the Drake. And that is going to be an Elder Drake, so this Elder is going to be huge. These teams are playing off of these really back and forth team fights over barely getting objectives after these team fights. But that last one was huge for Lobster Gang. In the last 5 minutes, they managed to go from 0 to 4 turrets. They managed to close out the gold lead. It's down to less than 1,000 gold again. In 35 minutes, this game could go crazy. And suddenly, the late game ADCs don't seem like a bad idea. But Arda stepping up, slice and dicing in. Doesn't manage to get any CC on either of the top laners. They're just going to clear out the the wave again, but it looks like Aether's going to try to go down to set up for this Elder Drake. They do have priority over it. They have priority in the top lane. They have Renekton set up top. There's all of his TP's up as well as the Gragas, but blue team has decided to start the Elder Drake. This might end up being a fight breaking out here. In comes Yasuo and Knight, trying to pinch him out here. The Elder Drake's going down. Knight getting the ultimate. Elder Drake goes down, but Knight goes down. So that's a kill for an Elder Drake. And Lobster Gang's still going to just try to stall this game out as best they can. Train Game manages to land the E. Arda just going to kind of walk it out. Maybe press Q on his way. Oh, and Eco trying his best to cut him off. There's not a ton of damage here. Yasuo managed to get the last breath. Down goes Renekton. That's a lot of ultimates for Renekton. But Lobster Gang now has a 5v3 situation against the Baron and Elder Drake of Aether. And Eco chasing him down. Soberk manages to get the taunt off. Fizz ultimate misses here. And Yasuo still has that GA. Lobster Gang's trying to look for a really good fight here. Aether trying to 3v5, trying to ultimate down. Phantom goes for the ulti. They're going for this inhibitor. Rammus gonna catch him down. Got the taunt. Rammus stalling. The tanks are stalling for Lobster Gang. Yasuo gonna dash through the lane. Fizz is looking real low here. Yasuo still has his GA. Manages to land the Q. Manages to land the last breath, and down goes. Down goes the Warwick. So that is a 12 kill advantage. Still a gold lead for Aether, but 12 kill advantage, and most of the Elder Drakes down. Knight doesn't have it. Geo doesn't have it. Soberk doesn't have it. I don't believe Arda has it, and Sivir did survive that fight. She ran away. They did manage to get the inhibitor, but they have 25 seconds of man advantage, so Lobster's going to run it down. Renekton manages to jump in. Renekton soaked up a ton of damage here, just trying to get something out of Lobster Gang, but they're going to get the kills here in the inhibitor. And they do have priority. Vayne popping off with a double kill. And that's an inhibitor. They have wave priority. Fizz is up in 8 seconds. Soberk is up in 2. This is going to definitely be a top Nexus turret, but let's see if Fizz tries to go for the fight here. Soberk is up. They land the E. Train Game is tanking the turret. Soberk manages to take the Q. Lobster Gang trying to take this fight, but down he goes to the turret. Soberk goes down. And that's one Nexus turret left. They're going to hit the Nexus. This is a comeback from Lobster Gang. They're actually going to win this game. They're up 2,000 gold. 15 kills, and that's the game for Lobster Gang. That was so back and forth. Whoa. And that's gonna do it, folks. Lobster Gang. That was a weird game to watch, but honestly, it was fun. It was really, really interesting. But that'll do it. Lobster Gang managed to pull through for the Elder Drake division. 304 farm on Yasuo. It's pretty good. He managed to come back from taking 3 solo deaths in the lane. Arda died a lot in lane, but constantly had push priority, constantly had a farm advantage until the game started to spread out a little bit later. But Train Game said, this is a team game. I'm going to show up. I'm going to start team fights. I'm going to set up Yasuo for his ultimates and let him carry. The Vayne eventually getting enough items that he just started DPSing. But taking a quick look at the stats, it does look like total damage to champions. Renekton actually getting the most damage to champions this game, followed by Gragas. Interesting. Gragas with the ticking damage just stood on top of people, tossed his Qs out, pressed W, did his best to do some damage, but that's actually surprising, the low amount of damage from the Warwick. He mostly just tanked, mostly just tried to get into the fights, but the Fizz trying to assassinate people. Sivir didn't manage to get online very fast, but Vayne, as soon as she got her 3rd item, started at EPS. A lot of that damage that she got this game started to come later in the game, whereas Yasuo mostly comes online with his 2nd item. And just real quick, I'd like to take a look at healing. Both these comps healed a lot. Warwick definitely took a ton of damage, healed a ton of damage. That's why he didn't do too much damage. He's too busy trying to tank for his team. Gragas passive, pretty good. Renekton passive on his Q, passive on his Q, pretty good. And Rammus managed to heal up just passively throughout the game. They did manage to get 0 ocean drakes, I believe, but and for the stats that we give a crap about. Vision score. The vision score for Knight trying his best to carry, and 74 vision score for our Sivir. That's actually pretty good. He got a higher vision score than the Lulu this game. And as for control wards purchased, we've actually 3 players who didn't buy any. That's a no-no, guys. But Lobster Gang, despite having lower vision scores, did buy a lot of pinks, did deny a lot of vision, and tried to play around picks. They set up team fights, and it's pretty much how they clawed the game back, in my opinion. It was really close. I expected it to be a stomp, but after one good team fight, Aether just fell over and let Lobster Gang win, and Elder Draker up again. But that's pretty much all the time we have today. I know it's just me alone. It's kind of awkward here, but I do appreciate all you guys sticking with me, sticking with this game, and giving myself and Yeti a chance to sit on the desk and cast a game for you. We do appreciate your time again, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Tune in at 2 p.m. Eastern for our first game. So again, thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful night, everybody.
Let it now. Now. Oh, no. Oh, let it now. No.